There's a perception that garden centres might be failing or struggling in this increasingly digital world. Is that the case? Well, that's what we're going to find out in this episode of T.E.A Talks. Let's get into it. So Con, here we are, loving the glasses, a different pair again.
Different pair indeed.
You like to keep us on our toes. You well, my friend, you good?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Very, very good. So we've got a little bit of a different one today.
Yes.
So we're going a little bit more specific, and we're going to talk garden centres.
Yes.
Because
we love garden centres.
We do love a garden centre. And we have been having some very interesting conversations of late, and it sort of sparked the idea for this one, because we know and we hear on the grapevine, and I think the perception out there is that maybe a lot of garden centres are struggling in certain ways to digitise their offering, and I'm sure that we know we've got some garden centres that view our content, and so we thought we'd put this one together and actually taking all of the insights and the things we hear on the grapevine and the things we know to be true and the perception of the wider world, and we thought we'd in this episode we'd boil it down into a couple of key areas, which I just want to lay out at the top of this one, and then I thought if we just go through each of them. So we've sort of boiled it down, and hopefully this will be particularly relevant for the garden centres that watch this, is the three kind of key areas, if you like. So the first one, which we'll get into, is around engaging the younger demographic. Now, I think we're clinging on with our fingertips onto that younger demographic. If we think about it, I think a lot of garden centres are wanting to engage that maybe the 25 to 40-year-old kind of demographic. Yep. I think there's a great thing. You've heard what a woofty is, haven't you? You know what a woofty is, don't you?
I'm a boomer. I've no idea what a woofty is.
So
jeez.
A woofty for the uninitiated is a well-off over 50.
Oh,
you're welcome. There you go.
Wow. Okay.
So a woofty is a well-off over 50, and I think if you think if the perception again is if you think of garden centres, I think they attract a certain demographic, maybe a more senior demographic, right?
Well, actually, I'm a dink.
What's a dink?
Double income, no kids.
You haven't got a child, but it's I suppose a little bit. But yeah, okay, a dink. I love that. What am I then? I'm just a 40-year-old with a child. I don't know what I am. I don't know. There's an analogy for that, or an acronym, whatever it is. But yeah, no. But I think the perception is garden centres, you've only got to walk around your local garden centre, right? Most of the people there are going to be people of a certain age. And we know the garden centres, one of the things they're trying to do is engage the younger demographic.
Yes, exactly.
And we've sort of, you kind of position it as like 25 to 40. So, we're just 40, so we're clinging on with our fingertips. But our producer Darren over there, he's just slap bang in the middle of that. So he is your target market. I think that's the first one. The second thing that we know to be true from a lot of garden centres is they're struggling to work out how and why they can digitise their offering. So they've got a website, but it's probably been created a few years ago. It might be looking a little bit, needs some work. It's certainly not been a key priority. So it's how and where do I digitise our offering to engage not just the younger demographic, but actually drive footfall to the stores. And then the third big conundrum we know garden centres are facing right now is, do we go e-com or not? Do we go fully e-commerce or not? I think there's lots of things, but they are the big three things that when we're talking to garden centres, they're the things that are coming up time and time again. So what I want to do on this one is just walk through and hopefully share a few little nuggets, a few little evergreen top tips in terms of how and you can achieve all those things, but also from our experiences working in this. We do so much in this home garden lifestyle space that I feel we're somewhat qualified to talk about this. Ooh. So do you want to kick us off then? If you're a garden centre, how can you engage that younger demographic? What are your initial thoughts?
Yes, I love this one so much because we have seen so much really great content being created by a lot of brick-and-mortar businesses that essentially is not there to sell, but it's very much about raising that awareness. And they use those trends by young people, which we see on TikTok and obviously Instagram and all the other social media, that they really embrace it. And I think this energy, that's what it is really, they just try to speak that young person's language and make it relatable, because that's another big thing that garden centre as an entity, if you like, very often not necessarily comes across massively relatable. So when they come out with a piece of content that younger demographics can really relate to, they are onto a winner. It's very much the whole show me, not tell me kind of
What, so do you think garden centres need to do more of this? Do you
they
think
need to do a lot more of this, and actually they shouldn't shy away from actually just being that, just showing off that young energy, because regardless of what age you are, everybody wants to be young at heart, and a lot of people are young at heart.
So what? So are you saying if you're a garden centre, if I'm running a garden centre, are you saying I need to be on TikTok? Do I need to be on Instagram to engage that younger demographic? Is that, do we think?
I would say you certainly should be, or by proxy, if you've got resource in-house, you should have somebody within your team who actually will want to do it for you, because that's the place to be. And
I mean, as a 40-year-old, I think that's the thing. I'm not on TikTok, I don't think, am I? No, I'm not on TikTok. Am I on TikTok? No, I'm not. I don't even know. I don't know. But I'm not on TikTok. But Evergreen as an agency is on TikTok. And that's one thing I've learned is I don't understand TikTok enough in terms of the what's trending and the kind of that sort of thing. And you've got to get these different platforms, haven't you? I think but I think those platforms are very powerful for engaging the younger demographics. And if a garden centres are wanting to get in front of that 25, 30-year-old, your Instagrams, your TikTok, stuff like that, they are going to be one of, Pinterest, going to be some of the best ways to get in front and to engage. But it's not just, I think what you're getting at is it's not just okay to just go, we're going to join TikTok, we're going to set up an Instagram page, but actually who and what and how are you going to post? I think that is the content. It always comes back to the content. It always
goes back to content, yes.
To not look out of place. You need someone in that demographic to really, who loves it, who can
and
really
to be able to steer it as well for you. And I think the big thing is that if we just, you can see that disconnect very quickly when you are looking at at certain accounts that essentially are trying to pretend something that they are not. And and there is nothing wrong with just being yourself, but at the same time, to be relatable, you really need to have that energy.
You've got to understand it. And if you're in a position where you've never done it, it's why I've not gone onto TikTok, because I just feel I love social media, I love digital marketing, paid media, and yet I'm just like, I just don't feel myself, I can't personally relate to that TikTok narrative, the audience, therefore I'm not going to do it from a personal perspective. And I think it's, for garden centres, but then it is, if you know that your target customer is on there, then you need to find a way of being on there, but to make it feel authentic, you need to have someone who understands it, gets it, and also has a genuine interest in wanting to do it. But I think social media as a whole, hugely, powerful way of engaging that younger demographic, isn't it?
And I would also say, have fun with it. Don't be afraid to just not to have fun with it.
Tell you another thing that another way, if we just think about that, and it's kind of related to the social, is these kind of micro influencers. Can be a great way for garden centres to really engage. Is find those micro influencers, maybe sub 10,000 followers, for the people that have an influence. Maybe they talk about gardening and relatable things that tie into the core offering you have. Again, getting those involved, and we've seen garden centres doing days, where experience days and stuff like that, really powerful stuff where you bring in people physically together, but you're leveraging their social following to really drive that brand awareness for the garden centre.
And I absolutely love that, because essentially what they are doing is they are just they are opening those physical doors with with digital gates, and it's just phenomenal. And what I am seeing over and over again as well is that all these sort of young people platforms, people are there because they just want to kill some time, but also they are searching for things. So, for example, there's been this big, massive debate about TikTok becoming a search engine, which it isn't. But a lot of people who actually are going to be scrolling through TikTok, they are going to be by proxy start searching for things.
They are,
and especially if you are within your local area, if you are going to find something near you that you can relate to, of course you're going to go and check it out. Because yes, of course it's great to actually have fun on your socials, but at the same time you really want to go out there and be part of the community.
Yeah, exactly that. And so really social media is probably the big. I mean, there's lots of ways you can engage the younger demographic. But if we, the headline way is social media, both organic and paid. And
paid,
and running paid ads, and then influence as well. And then there's lots of other things which we're going to come on to in terms of the website and your own content and so on. But I think, leveraging those channels, but having someone that understands those channels and has a genuine interest in those channels can be hugely powerful. And exactly to your earlier point, really have fun with it, be authentic. Don't feel that everything needs to be polished and highly professional. It's actually great to show that kind of raw, behind the scenes. This is the mechanics of a garden centre. Here's the education piece.
Exactly
huge.
That.
How
Absolutely.
many 30-year-olds love to have amazing stuff around their home, their garden, but haven't the foggiest how to what they need or when and all of that stuff. Just simplifying it, humanizing it, making it relatable. You can do that with video. You're on your phone. Garden centres are spoilt for choice in terms of what they are surrounded by, quite literally, to make the most amazing content. And the amount of garden centres I've walked around and thought, this is just gold for content creation, for videos, because how you build this, how this works, what types of plants for this. There's just so much you can do, but and all you need is a phone and someone who gets how TikTok works or Instagram works. You're off to the races.
And I will give you a fantastic example. So the other day, I saw a nice little video on TikTok how to put together a water feature.
There you go.
And that was done by a garden centre. It was fantastic.
It's stuff like that because it's practical, it's informative. If you've got people in your garden centre,
authority building,
who are happy to be on film, who are then make them build their personal brand. If you're the owner or the manager, you can build your own personal brand and have. I mean, there's a comedian who's just started. My wife showed me. I forget his name. He's a famous comedian. What's his name? I forget his name. He's just started to do his own videos on Instagram where he's just him and he's filming himself and he's just going around giving, this is this plant, I bought this, I did it. Not garden centre, but just him in his garden, and he's sharing tips on how to grow this plant and what type of compost you need for this one and stuff like that. And now he's a comedian, so he's using his platform to, whatever he's doing.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's just an example of you're sitting there surrounded by so many amazing products that social media is a great way of adding value, of educating, of showing the people behind the brand, and of really just adding value. Honestly, when garden centres start to do this, they're just going to be off to the races.
Absolutely.
It's just, and we're starting to see some doing it, and we had I've had a couple of garden centres on our podcast.
We did, yes.
Coming out soon. In fact, it'll be out by the time this comes out. Oh, there you go. But some of the conversations we're having are very similar. We're saying, go and do this, just have some fun with it, and you won't look back. So I think that's key, is there's so much engaging that younger demographic. The key is having fun, being real, and just trying different content formats. Is just go and do it. You will engage the under 40s demographic.
Yeah, which really nicely takes us to the second point we've raised about the wider digitization, isn't it?
Yes.
So do you want to kick us off? What do you mean by that?
So it's really, again, we know that a lot of garden centres are thinking, well, how can I, our website's maybe a few years old, or what do we need to put on our website? And I think what we're saying to the garden centres we're speaking to is, look, what you need to do is you need to be thinking not just about the digital as a separate thing, because most of your target customers are going to be searching online as well as being in the store. They might be on the store first, then they might go online. Also, it's really thinking about, for a garden centre, it's not just about the plants and the product you sell.
Yeah.
It's lifestyle.
It's the entire experience.
It's the experience, it's the lifestyle. So really using your website to make the information above and beyond just the products, and we're going to come on to the e-commerce side in a minute, but beyond that, making it really easily accessible, easy to find the key information. What are your opening times? When is your cafe open?
Absolutely.
What are all your, what food and drink can I get there? What facilities do you have for the kids? What can you do? How can you turn it into effectively a day out, which is how people are treating it. If you think you're under 40s, that's us, that's your young families with kids, and the garden centres, they need small garden centres or big garden centres. You need to be that destination because people will come there I've never walked in just for a coffee and then not walked out with a plant or something that I didn't intend to buy, right?
Yes.
You always do. But, you know, first and foremost, more often than not, I won't be going there to buy the product. I'll be going there, I'll meet with the in-laws for a coffee or for, you know, something. And so I think what we're saying is, look, when it comes to the digitization of your website, yes, you want to make sure that the website's easy to use, easy to navigate. You want to make sure that the aesthetics there, you want to, you know, take the time and energy and invest in great photography. You want to do walkthroughs, video walkthroughs, showcase the garden centre in all of its glory. Like, all of those things can make the website just much easier to use, easier to navigate, and so on. But actually make the offline parts of your garden centre, make that very easy to find online.
Do you know what I love about some of the garden centres that they do? Augmented reality.
Do they?
I saw a couple of garden centres doing that already. It's amazing with the full thing. So what you do, you just put on your little helmet on, and then you can see what this particular plant is going to actually look at different settings and so on.
In your home and stuff.
Yes, you can do that.
Wow.
So it's brilliant. It's phenomenal. I love it.
So I think that's one of the big things we covered on the pod recently with one of our guests was, remember that the average customer is going to come online as well as offline. And I think use the online side to really showcase all the things you have to do at your garden centre.
Yes.
All the facilities, all the services, all the things you can actually do. And I think making that, don't bury that. The amount of garden centres you go on, it's like, where are your opening times? Where can I find it when your cafe's open? Make that, put it in your menu, you know, make it very apparent that you can shop and you can buy the products, but you can also do this, and there's a creche, and there's a soft play, and there's this, and there's that. Make it front and centre, and think about your target customer. What are the pain points they're wanting? What is the reasons for them going there above and beyond just buying the product?
Yeah, and also I think that really nicely ties into a final point about the going e-com or not, because I think it's one of those places that actually you go for the experience, but at the same time you wouldn't mind buy online.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think e-commerce is an interesting one. It's not for everyone.
No, it's
not. A lot of garden centres are considering going e-commerce.
They do.
What they're doing, which is quite interesting, so a lot of garden centres that we know of are having it so that you can buy online and then you pick up at the garden centre, which makes a lot of sense, because frankly, if you're going to pick up multiple bags of compost, that makes sense to go and do that.
Well, how fantastic idea is this? Because you just rock up there to pick up your compost, but then you end up just maybe buying another plant and, teas and coffees for your family.
Exactly. So I think e-commerce, yes, so long as as long as you can do the fulfillment and you've got all of the practical stuff, then it definitely works. You will see an uplift in the average order value if you offer online as well, because especially if you do couple it with delivery, because again, delivery within a set radius for either a flat fee or no cost above a certain threshold of purchase, £100 it's free delivery or whatever, within a 3, 4, 5 mile radius. Very simple, very easy to implement. You can whip up a Shopify website or a bolt-on quite easy and quite simply now. And then you can and the thing is as well, and what we've said as well is you don't have to put all your products on. No. You can just have certain subsets of certain categories of products. Say, these are our e-commerce. We saw a lot of that in COVID. So brands were going, you can have these products and these are available online, and it's essentially an order and we will, you can come and collect it type thing. So we saw a lot of that all those years back. But I think e-commerce, and then we are seeing some garden centres that are fully embracing the e-commerce model and are moving to that model. And it's a bigger question than just a marketing question, but it's definitely, again, part of engaging that younger demographic, part of driving up that average order value, increasing the lifetime value, is understanding that if now, all 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, they're all online, they're all buying product online,
exactly,
as well as the 20 and 30-year-olds. So everyone's online. So just remembering that and thinking, actually, how many people, I've done this, I'm sure you've done this, and I'm sure Darren's done this, how many people have gone to a garden centre, you've seen an amazing bit of furniture or something, and then you've thought, do you know what, I'm going to go back online, I'm going to have a look. If you make it very, very easy for that person to sit and test and try the product, but then actually, it's what you don't want to do, and I think what a lot of garden centres fall foul of is someone goes, I love that product. Right, I'm going to go back and I'm going to buy it elsewhere because I can get it delivered and I can probably find it cheaper or whatever.
Exactly.
Actually, if you've got great prices and great customer service and you couple it with, you can buy this on our website and you can get it in a number of days or whatever, you know, and there's a little incentive. If you buy this, you can get free coffees the next time. All of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a way, because I know if I saw a product and I could sit on it, I would be naturally inclined to want to buy it from that person because I know it's exactly that product.
Yeah. And that's to your point. I mean, so many times I wanted to do it, but I wasn't able to because it doesn't fit my car. So I would not be able to take it home. And the place I went to, they didn't offer delivery.
They don't offer delivery. You can't buy it online. Therefore, you go, thank you, Mr. Garden Centre, or, you know, I've tried the product, but now I'm going to buy it elsewhere, and it just doesn't make sense. The e-commerce, whether you do the fulfillment online or whether it's just the buy and then we will deliver it for you, you're going to increase that lifetime value. You're going to increase the average customer value, and of course, I mean, there's so many things, but then you capture their data, you can then retarget them, you can go back out with email sequence based on the product that they've bought to upsell and cross-sell. It becomes this snowball effect of, and this is the power of digital, because you can then stay top of mind for that target customer, which you can't do if they're just coming into the store, they leave, they've had a nice couple of hours, but then they're gone. If you can capture their data, and that's the other thing with the products, if you've got certain garden centres have lots of furniture, if you've got salespeople there, well, just we can add your details. Oh, pop your name and email down, and then we will send you details about the product because you can buy it online. You've captured their details. We haven't even covered the retargeting, the ability to keep your brand top of mind and stay top of mind for your target customer. So much. We're gonna have to do more on garden centers, because we've just barely scratched the surface in terms of what a garden center can do, how they can digitize, how you can engage that younger demographic, how you can move into an e-commerce model. But the question of whether we do more is on you, dear viewers. If you've enjoyed this one where we've gone a little bit deeper into a very specific topic, if you're a garden centre watching this and you'd like us to do a little bit more, then let us know in the comments, because if we get great feedback and you want us to go into all sorts of other topics, we of course will for you. So it's on you. Let us know, and I hope you've enjoyed this one. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Bye for now.